All right, one concern's been brought to our attention, and that concern is having to do with the runway length. And so let's go ahead and address it. Let's go ahead and address the warning now. And it's saying to us, let's go back to our flight plan, that departure runway may be inadequate for takeoff. Departure runway may be inadequate for takeoff. And I'm trying to understand the reasoning behind that. And I was looking like, oh, and our wind, is there something in our winds, our takeoff winds, anything at all that would create an issue? And anyway, we're going to be paying close attention to that, because got to take care of the people here. We're going to go ahead and this is a X-Crafts ERJ 145XR model. We're going to go ahead and start up that GPU. Cargo is open for them to load. Engine covers are off. Our weight and balance info sim brief flight plan. Our payload is in kilograms, by the way, I noticed that. Block fuel is going to be loaded. It's not a long flight. And from there we see we can load plane. We have a bigger, well, we don't have a fully loaded plane, but let's see, we've got about 37 adults, 9 children. Okay. All right, let's go up to the overhead. I'm not a real, not a like a real commercial airline pilot. I am much an enthusiast. Love it. Just so you know. Okay. All right. We're gonna hit battery 1.
All unit okay.
Battery 2. IRSs are aligning. Millie, when the light is lit on the GPU, does that mean on or off?
When the light is lit on the GPU, it means that the power is on and supplying electricity to the aircraft. If the light is off, the GPU is not providing power. Always ensure that the GPU is properly connected and functioning before relying on it for power.
Yeah, you know how confusing that is? Because it's typically, this is a dark cockpit.
Yes, it can be confusing. In a dark cockpit, the GPU light being on indicates that it's supplying power to the aircraft. If it's off, the GPU isn't providing power. Always double check your connections and the status before relying on it.
Okay, packs here, which means they're on. It's just as confusing. Okay, our bleed's right here, APU bleed. Okay, and let's go ahead and do our APU test. This is really good to keep handy right here, this here. Okay, fuel's already loaded, so pump tank power 1 and 2 are on. Nav light is on. Inspection light is on. Passenger lights are on, and sterile cockpit is on. APU, looking right there. It's waiting for me, but I'm just making sure the temp comes up okay. All right. All right, and we'll go down. And you see the APU coming up here. Okay, looking good. Right, we're not going to need the yoke for a bit, so what I do, if you'll point at it here, it will go away. And let's bring up our FMS. We're going to need also our horizon, and I want to see if I want anything else. I'm going to be bringing up Navigraph in a minute too. We're going out on runway, like I said, we're going out on runway 01. Concern we'll keep an eye on. So position initiate. Okay, of the three choices here, GPS. We're gonna load this, okay. Okay, go to flight plan. Okay, so for the flight plan, remember I've already loaded it and downloaded it from SimBrief and downloader. And I'm going to go to the hit for load flight plan, and I'm going to scroll to get KDCA. That's what I'm looking for. KDCA to KATL. Let's see, that's not it. Hold on. Help me find it. Okay, KDCA, KATL 01. And activate. For the departure, we're looking at runway 01. We're going out on clutch and flask. Okay, we're going to activate that. Now, there's somewhere else I'm going to go for the performance initiate. I'm going to nav, arrival. And you look at here, it's already got down runway 26 right for our arrival. So 26 right. And ILS, it will be Haynes. Yeah. And Aussie. And flask. Which is funny because our transition's the same for both. That's funny. Okay. Performance init. Okay, this is page 1 of 5 on performance. So that looks okay. We're looking at a 270 climb, 300 cruise, and 270 descent. Stop increments, takeoff, all that landing, good. Okay, right here, it's got our cruise altitude. It's looking for that, and we're going to fill that in. That's going to create like some calculating. So anyway, our cruise altitude on this flight is 280. Interesting, 280. Okay, so that's fairly interesting. It's kind of okay. All right, so 280 in there. Okay, that's gonna help. And right here on this last page, performance, you see where this has fuel 7,346 kilograms. We'll hit it once. It's going to load that there. Then if we hit it again, it's going to load it in there. They're concerned with the steep descent, but we'll note it, but it's not going to be a problem. Okay. Well, didn't mean to knock that off yet. All right. Now at this point, let's go ahead and ask for some assistance from our co-pilot. Addison, you there?
Yes, I'm here, Steve.
All right, let's go ahead and first of all get our IFR clearance from clearance to Atlanta, and you are in charge of all comms.
I'll get our IFR clearance to Atlanta. Stand by.
Okay, we're going to put in our takeoff numbers. Let's see what it's talking about winds, because they seem really concerned about our takeoff. Probably if I knew more, I'd be afraid to. Okay, here we go. It says winds are from 011, 0. Temp 16 and 30.10 is QNH 3010. All right, let's make sure that's on both of our okay. All right, so we're got all that information in there. We're going out of runway 1. Let's compute that. We'll see if it's going to fuss. No, it's not. They don't seem to be alarmed by it. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from right now. So we hit send to PFD and it loads our numbers in there. So all of our numbers are loaded. Now we're not done yet, because if you look on here, the takeoff numbers there aren't loaded yet. We're going to go up here to the overhead where it says takeoff data. We're going to tap it, but it's going to load that takeoff data in there. We're also going to go down here to our thrust ratings. We're going to hit TO once. Okay. All right. And we may have to do that again. I'll double check it here. But let me see. It should be in there. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the flight plan and let's walk through any discontinuities or anything we need to deal with. Runway 1. There we go. That looks good. Looks good. Looks good. There we go. We've got our first discontinuity. So there's a discontinuity here at the transition point of Flask. So we're going to hit Flask once. Excuse me. Once, and it's going to put it in the copy notepad, and then we're going to move it up. There we go. Keep going. Keep going. Zelo. Now we're close to the runway, and it looks like everything is as it should be. So I'm comfortable with that. You are a hot mess. You're just that's a lot of information on there. TCAS is on standby because I haven't set it up yet. Hey, you haven't gotten our IFR clearance yet.
I'll get our IFR clearance now. Reagan clearance, Delta 3602. We'd like to receive our IFR clearance. We have Foxtrot.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
This
Delta 3602, Reagan clearance clear to Atlanta via the clutch 3 departure, then is filed, climb and maintain 5,000, expect flight level 30010 minutes after departure, departure on 118.905, squawk 4422, expect runway 33.
Cleared to Atlanta via the clutch 3 departure, then is filed, climb and maintain 5,000.
Expect flight level 30010 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.95, squawk 4422. Expect runway 33, Delta 3602.
They're trying to send us out on runway 33.
3602, read back correct.
Millie, they're trying to send us out of DC on runway 33. Does that sound okay to you?
Yes, departing from runway 33 is standard for DC. Just remember to follow the clutch 3 departure procedure as you climb out. It should be a smooth takeoff.
All right, it's a much shorter runway. In fact, in coming in, this is the runway that got a lot of history. Okay, all right, let's see. All right, so let's change our runway's departure to 33. And at a flaps 9, it's still it looks like it's okay with us. Okay. All right. We're going to go back to the flight plan again. Departure. Runway has changed. Clutch 3 and flask. Okay. Everything else looks A-okay. So this is just a full takeoff, like a toga takeoff. It's another day at the office. Okay. I just know it's a shorter runway, so I was like, shorter. I like shorter. Okay. No, I don't think it'd be a problem. It's not that. Okay. All right. Addison, go ahead and get our pushback and start clearance.
I'll request pushback and start clearance now.
Gus, putting the Gus back. Okay. Okay.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
That's beautiful, by the way. They just some of the work. Time Models did a great job on this airport, and they get a definite shout out. They did a good job. Last step, GPU's coming off. Cargo doors being closed.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And where it says this, it says ILS. Actually, we're going to change that to FMS. Should be on FMS 1. That's our
Windshield trap and
navigation.
adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Okay. I had a brain fart. I was like, what's that Y D on the what's that button for? And it wasn't clicking because it's in a completely different place on the Zibo. Okay, let's start engines.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and all call. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your Delta flight. So in just a moment, we'll be showing you a brief presentation on the safety features of this aircraft. We kindly ask that you please direct your attention to the video monitors and flight attendants in the aisle, even if you are a frequent flyer. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard, and thank you for choosing Delta for 100 years and counting.
Delta.
Delta. Delta.
Delta Airline.
The health and safety of our customers and crew is our #1 priority and the shared responsibility of everyone on board. So, before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin and place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Larger electronic devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured.
Stand by.
Keep the aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas clear. If you lose an electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help.
As we leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. If your seat has a shoulder harness, attach the metal tip to the fitting on the belt. To release, push the metal tip down. Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air. In the event of rough air, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, the use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing tobacco, is not allowed on any Delta flight. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying restroom smoke detectors.
There are 8 exits on this plane, 8 doors, 4 on each side. Each door has a detachable slide that can be used as a raft. In the event of an evacuation, leave all bags behind. Carry-on baggage will slow the evacuation. All exits are clearly marked with the green exit symbol. Locate the nearest exits and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will illuminate the aisles to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note the oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head, wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level.
Addison, you
A
can
water-activated light is
taxi
attached
clearance.
to each vest. For children under 35 pounds, place the vest around their waist and secure the strap between the legs. See your safety card for more information. Additional life vests for in-lap children are in marked compartments at the front and rear of the plane. We'll distribute these vests if necessary.
Before takeoff, bring your seat to its upright position and stow your tray table, footrest, and leg rest. Be sure you fastened your seatbelt low and tight across your lap, carry-on items secured, and armrests are at resting position, or as otherwise indicated on the placard in front
All right,
of you.
we'll be leaving momentarily
ensure
here.
it's open. See placard instructions inside the suite door for opening instructions in case of emergency. Finally, take a moment to review the safety information card in your seat pocket.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions. As we take off into the future, sit back and relax. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next 100 years.
We do have about a 2-minute delay before we can taxi. Just been notified. It'll just be a moment. Just hang with me. All's good. Just need a moment. And we'll be taxiing to runway 33. And not a big fan. It's okay. We'll be fine. But when we taxi out on 33, it's just a shorter runway. It's the same runway that CRJ 700, the CRJ was coming in to land on. And it's just a shorter runway, but it's not a problem for the ERJ 145. It's a lighter plane. They use that runway for that all the time. And actually, I like the way it points because you're not flying directly over DC, so you don't have to make a phone call. I think that's one of the biggest things. Anyway, we're about getting ready. All right. Addison's doing a good job. She's got us set up for this. Once again, this airport's really, if you're looking for an immersive experience, you can't beat this airport. And if some of you may wonder where the Delta is coming from, that's Delta Virtual Airlines. And I've really enjoyed flying for them. They've been just a good experience, a really good experience to work with. Okay. Addison, did you ever get our taxi clearance?
We haven't requested taxi clearance yet. I'll handle that now.
Sitting here bragging on her and she hadn't gotten it yet. Hey, come on. What's the hold up? Come on. Delta 3602, we need taxi clearance to runway 33.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
Not sure what's happened on there.
Delta 3602, Potomac departure. Taxi to runway 33 via taxiway Alpha.
Runway 33 via Alpha. Delta 3602.
I like the messages that pop up from Xcraft. It helps. They're actually very helpful.
Approaching runway 19.
Delta 3602, clearance to cross runway 19.
Delta 3602, you're holding short of runway 19er. You're cleared to taxi to runway 33 via Alpha. Cross runway 19er.
Taxi to runway 33 via Alpha. Cross runway 19. Delta 3602.
Approaching runway 22.
Gonna get us clearance to cross runway 22.
I'll request clearance to cross runway 22. Raising ground. Delta 3602. Requesting clearance to cross runway 22. We have information Foxtrot. Delta 3602, cross runway 22. Cross runway 22, Delta 3602.
Approaching runway 22.
Okay. Addison, do the takeoff briefing.
I'll handle the takeoff briefing now.
Addison, are you okay? You've been very sluggish today.
I'm all right, Steve. Just focused on getting everything sorted for our departure.
All right, I'm waiting for the takeoff briefing.
We'll be departing from runway 33, flying the Clutch 3 departure with an initial climb to 5,000 feet. Transition altitude is 18,000 feet. After takeoff, we'll follow the SID profile as cleared. Weather at departure shows no significant issues. In case of an engine failure below 400 feet, we'll continue straight ahead and follow ATC instructions. Above 400 feet, we'll follow the engine out SID procedure, climbing to 3,000 feet before turning back. For any abnormalities or emergencies before V1, we'll reject the takeoff and apply maximum braking. After V1, we'll continue the takeoff, handle the emergency, and communicate with ATC. We've been cleared as filed. Squawk code is 4422 and departure frequency will be 118.905. We're configured for takeoff with flaps 5. I think we're ready to go, Captain.
Actually, we're configured at 9. Double checking to make sure we are configured for takeoff. Yes, and we're ready for our takeoff clearance.
I'll request takeoff clearance now. Reagan Tower, Delta 3602, holding short of runway 33. We're ready for departure.
Delta 3602, Reagan Tower, runway 33, winds calm. RNAV Rev G, cleared for takeoff.
You know, you would think there's a lot more planes taking off on runway 33 because if you look, there's no planes
Runway
taking off here.
33,
This
RNAV Rev G, cleared for takeoff. Delta 3602.
Okay.
Approaching runway 33.
All right, lined up on 33. Hitting the heading bug.
On runway 33 remaining. 4,900 feet.
Trim, no takeoff. Trim.
Gotcha. Okay, I've not had trim before. Let's start again.
No takeoff. Trim.
Trim is currently set, pitched up to 8.
No takeoff. Trim.
Millie, what should be our trim right now?
For the ERJ 145, set your trim to neutral for takeoff. Once airborne, you can adjust it based on your speed and configuration. Remember, a well-trimmed aircraft makes for a smoother flight.
Takeoff, okay.
All right, trim is set now. Okay, I'm glad we stopped for that. All right, throttle's going forward. Listen for the click. One click, two clicks. Forward pressure on yoke. $80 knots. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Flaps are retracted. Navigation is set.
Delta.
Potomac departure, Delta 3602. Good evening, climbing through 1000 TAE.
Delta 3602, Potomac departure, radar contact, turn left heading 290, vectors to Cuckley, then on course.
Beautiful. That's a beautiful takeoff. Just a beautiful scenery on the way out. It's all right. Okay, we're going to pay close attention to our speed.
Vectors to Cuckley, then on course. Delta 3602.
Setting thrust to climb. Boy, monitoring that speed. Just for a moment there, about went over. I think that won't be enough to like get me a hard time with Delta, but it was close.
Delta 3602, climb and maintain flight level 260.
Climbing and maintaining flight level 260, Delta 3602.
All right, it's following flight path real nice, so very nice. Great shot there. We just went over 10,000.
As we climb to our cruising altitude, we'd like to extend a special thank you to each of you, and a welcome back to our SkyMile members and Million Milers. Your business and loyalty are greatly appreciated by the entire Delta family. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience any unexpected rough air. We ask that you also please remember to use caution if opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during takeoff. We've now reached an altitude where it's safe to use approved electronic devices, and a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it will be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water, juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies.
Normally, by the way, the trim adjusts itself.
Complimentary for our first class and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase for the main cabin.
300.
A complete listing of available beverages,
level 300,
as well as of our fresh eats
Delta
items can be found in the
3602.
menus in your seat pocket. Please be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks. However, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 50% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases. For your enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your own personal entertainment system. On it, you can view a selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows, movies, and music. You will find that this screen will work best with just a light tap of your fingertip. Feel free to use your own headsets.
270 on
Otherwise,
the climb.
if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta flights.
Should stay around 270 on the climb up to our cruise level.
Delta 3602, contact Washington Center on 134.5.
Switching to Washington Center on 134.5, Delta 3602.
We're at about 1,900 feet per minute climb.
Good evening. 17,000 for flight level 300.
Delta 3602 Washington Center, good evening.
We're about 447 miles from Atlanta. Right, we're going to go to standard altimeter setting. 292. And it's going to get kind of monotonous just for the next 10,000 feet. But I'll tell you, this X-Crafts has done an excellent job. They've really added like features into this aircraft. I really don't know what the difference is in the payware or the non-payware. I just know that I trust the guys who make this particular aircraft. They do a phenomenal job, and I think it's worth it. You don't have to buy every single one of them, but I'll say this: the ERJ series is very unique. But if you have one, if you have a 135 ERJ 135, it flies identical to the 145. You won't see any difference really. Right, 426 miles outside of Atlanta, and the direction will be coming in on 26 right. lines us up like right with the runway, so we don't have a transition to the other side. We'll be coming in on this side here. It's nice. We have slowed down some. I noticed. I'm monitoring that. It's like 200. We're at 270 knots ground speed, or 217 knots right now airspeed. So we need to monitor that. I do notice on flight level change, it drops the nose if it senses it's not getting enough lift, or it's slowing. That's good. It will get better here in a moment because we're 1,000 feet from flight level. Just put us on cruise level, so our speed should change. Good. We have a headwind coming at us, and that's probably impacting us a little bit. Like right now I'm at 230 knots, but with a headwind, yeah, you can see how they mess with us. Frontier Airlines way over there. $208, 50 knots right now at 30,300. Testing my mic here.
Yes, yes, good.
All right. Probably get an echo. There is a delay. Okay, I'm not testing now. Okay, just leave it be. All right. We're 375 miles out. At 300 right now. There's if you're wondering where to find if you're in ERJ, there's a place you can go and find your top of descent, and you find it from progress, that second page, and see where it says top of descent comes in 288 nautical miles, and there's your gross weight. That'll come in handy when you need to move some things around, but or do your landing information. Something we can go ahead and do while we're here is enter our frequency for arrival. So I'm going to go to Atlanta, my charts, and approach 26 right. And for 26 right, we have 110 dot. What is that right? 110.1. Is that right? 110.10. I just want to double check it. If you go here to AV tab, airport, KATL. .26 right says 110.10. Okay. Just making sure what losing my mind. Okay, let's look at our winds at arrival. Winds are from 330 at 10 knots. QNH is 3003. And our landing weight, here, look, is going to be, I'm going to say 41,500. And we're in great shape. Fine. And you see there, it's fussing at us because our speed's getting a little up there. I'm going to cut back a little bit. Thus, the auto throttle, no auto throttle.
13.575.
Switching to Washington Center on 133.575, Delta 3602. Washington Center, Delta 3602. Good evening, at flight level 300.
Delta 3602, Washington Center, good evening.
That looks really good. That just so well done. We are 282 miles outside of Atlanta. Curious about some of our points. Let's see. We still have a ways to go before we descend, by the way. It's been quite a ways. How far? 177 miles. Maybe that's not that far. It's really tempting to time compress this, but I can't see a good reason to. Some of the additions that we're using on this flight is say intentions is ATC, and it's funny, I can get some people stirred up because some of the guys, the VATSIM disciples or the followers hate say intentions and the use of AI for traffic. But honestly, you know, for guys out there that want to enjoy X-plane, that are busy, it's perfect. It works for us. So I like both. I like, you know, if I have time, if I really can, like say, okay, I got 2 hours to take a flight somewhere and focus, then I think VATSIM's great. I'll do it, but that's not always the case.
Delta 3602, contact Atlanta Center on 120.725.
Switching to Atlanta Center on 120.725, Delta 3602. Atlanta Center, Delta 3602. Good evening at flight level 300.
Delta 3602, Atlanta Center, good evening.
Anyway, some of the other things that I'm using here is XP map enhancements. Love it. It works well. So XP map enhancements is in my wheelhouse here, along with Sim Heaven, and I have not yet used the Sim Heaven X Pro. Just haven't done that yet. But I will. I'm kind of waiting for them to finish it. I know that some have been testing what's out there just to get a taste of it, and it's great. But I really, when I switch over, I just have to switch over. And I'm also using airport map and airport enhancement package, and that's been nice too. Works great. speed has remained like in a acceptable range. I'm really impressed, by the way, by the work that X-Craft did on this one. This the ERJ 145, and just it really, now that you understand conceptually how it flies and the order of how you fly it, it makes sense and it really works well. Yeah. And of course, I think these are the predecessors to the Embraers that we see now, the 175 and the 195s that are much more automated, extremely more automated. And I think my mistake was I flew them first. So, yeah, a little bit different with this one. What I have had to get used to on this one, I think, see here, you have landing gear right now says up, and I guess when it comes down it just says DN, so you really can't say 3 green anymore. So it's much more easy, just 3 green, not now. Okay. We are at 300, which ATC put us at, but actually our flight level was supposed to be 280. There must be a reason. We have already entered our landing calculations. And, good there, and we're in great shape for landing, especially at Atlanta. Do you know another airport that's becoming like crazy busy? Charlotte. Charlotte has 1,800 American Airlines flights that goes out there every day, and that's just American Airlines. That's not all the flights. I did not realize, you know, as much as I've been in and out of Charlotte airport, I did not realize just how busy it is, and they're working on a new terminal. It's going to be amazing. So, some additions. I've been asked, I've seen it a lot, but people are going, you know, why didn't the Frontier Airlines Airbus just weave? You don't weave. When you're going 115 or 120 miles an hour getting near like V1, you don't weave. Unless you want to crash. So that's sad. But some of the developers said the flight level change is probably the most practical thing on like to descend on this here, because you can use a VS. You can do it that way, vertical speed. But I think I really do. I've gotten used to the flight level. I can control my speed. I know how to cut back. It seems to work well, so I think I'm going to use it for this. Weather's nice today. Fuel is sitting at about 4,195 kilograms, and we are 165 miles outside of Atlanta at 30,000 feet. Millie talked to me about the progress in the FMS page 2, where it says VS at TOD. Is it giving me an estimated VS, like vertical speed to put in, like a feet per minute when it says 708?
Yes, when the FMS page 2 shows VS at DOD with a value like 708, it's indicating the estimated vertical speed in feet per minute that you should target for your descent. This helps you maintain a smooth and controlled approach. Make sure to adjust your descent rate as needed based on your altitude and distance to the runway.
Okay. I might try that. I have not tried that yet with this model. I haven't. That sounds like a good idea. Okay. Addison, can you get our descent clearance to begin our descent on the Aussie 1 arrival?
Request our descent clearance now. Atlanta Center, Delta 3602. Requesting descent clearance for the Aussie 2 arrival.
Delta 3602, descend via Aussie 2 to 5000 flaps, transition into Atlanta, altimeter 3003.
Descend via Aussie 2 to 5000, flaps transition into Atlanta, altimeter 3003, Delta 3602.
I could end up liking this a lot because if this progress calculator here, which is it's giving me my top of descent, my vertical speed should be at top of descent, what it is, this could be really nice.
Attention, please prepare the cab for arrival.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our initial descent. At this time, we ask that you kindly begin to recheck the security of your seatbelt. And if you've removed any items from the overhead bins, please begin to restow them at this time. Please check around your seating area and the seat pocket in front of you for any cups, glasses, or other articles you wish to discard. And kindly hand these items to the flight attendants as they make their way through the aisle. Thank you so much. We should be landing in approximately 15 to 20 minutes.
All right, so we're up at about 800 feet per minute and we're currently at 280 altitude. And I think that TOD actually, let me change that a little bit. Okay. So the calculation it puts in there is about 731 feet per minute descent rate. And we're going to see how it comes out. That's coming from the progress page, calculating it in the FMS. on the Zibo, on the 737-800, I always have to enter the landing elevation. How does that work on the ERJ 145?
In the ERJ 145, you don't need to manually enter the landing elevation like on the 737. The FMS will automatically calculate the elevation based on the airport data once you input the destination. Just make sure to verify the altimeter setting and the approach procedure before landing.
Okay.
Delta 3602, contact Atlanta Center on 124.375.
Contacting Atlanta Center on 124.375, Delta 3602. Atlanta Center, Delta 3602. Good evening, descending flight level 250 for 5,000.
Delta 3602, Atlanta Center, good evening.
Actually, what I'm seeing so far is really good. So we're at about 730, 728, 730 feet per minute is what it's recommending. I can get close to it. I can get working though. Okay, all right. And the rate of descent is just really smooth for the passengers. It's wow, it's really working well. Okay. They pick it up a little, just like 800. Adjusting the throttle subtly and keep the speeder around 270 knots. It's good working. Speed, everything looks really good. The frequency is already entered for the ILS for 26 right, so we don't have to re-enter that again. All we have to do is follow our flight plan right now. And we're 62 miles out. Right at 19,000. Transition is at 18,000.
Delta 3602, contact Atlanta approach on 124.6. Delta 3602, contact Atlanta approach on 12.
Atlanta approach, Delta 3602. Good evening, descending flight level 190 for 5,000. Atlanta approach, Delta 3602. Good evening, flight level 190 for 5,000.
Delta 3602, Atlanta approach. Good evening, cleared Hines transition. Expect the ILS runway 26 right approach into Atlanta.
All right. And a beautiful day in Atlanta. Talking about a place that has a lot of flights.
Cleared Hines transition. Expect ILS runway 26 right approach. Delta 3602.
Number of flights going out of Atlanta, Hartsfield International each day. How many aircraft fly out of Hartsfield International in Atlanta every day? How many flights fly out of Charlotte's airport every day? How many flights fly out of Charlotte Douglas International Airport every day? How many commercial airline flights fly out of Charlotte Douglas International Airport each day? Charlotte Douglas handles about 1,350, but Atlanta handles about 2,500 every day. Wow. We are at 16,000. I am no longer getting recommendations about our descent, so I think that means I need to go a little quicker. That's good. I just put us to idle thrust, and I used flight level change. That'll put us to 2,000 feet per minute. We need to, and we're on 35 miles line of sight, like point to point from the airport. We have a transition that's going to add about 20 miles, 20 to 25 miles. It's close. Okay, a little left turn, about a 45-degree turn here. We're going to slow down to 250 as we have. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and cut on the landing lights. A little early, but I don't care. 11,000, 12,000, going down to 11,000. We are under 250 knots. Speed looks good. We're on our base leg approach to turning on the final. And we are under 250 knots. We're good. We are behind on our descent, but I don't really think that's going to be a problem. At Zibo right now, we're at 8,000 feet. We should be at 5,000 feet. So yeah, I think we're a little bit behind, but I'm still not terribly concerned. We're good. We are 20 miles out.
For the ILS runway 26 right approach via Hines. Delta 3602 cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach via Hines.
Cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach via Hines. Delta 3602. Cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach via Hines. Delta 3602.
Still not concerned. We are behind on our approach, and I'm just staying a consistent 1,000 feet per minute, and I still think we'll be all right. Yeah, we'll be okay. Yeah, we're fine. Gears down. You know what? I take that back. Landing gear. They did make the down, the end, all green. So you got 3 green. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. You win.
Delta 3602, contact Atlanta.
Atlanta Tower, Delta 3602. Good evening. Established on the ILS runway 26 right approach.
Delta 3602, Atlanta Tower, roger, winds 330 at 10. Delta 3602, runway 26 right, winds 330 at 10. Clear to land.
Runway 26 right, cleared to land, Delta 3602.
Approaching runway 27 right. Caution, caution.
Approaching minimums. Approaching minimums.
Approaching runway 28.
100.
Caution, caution.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10,
36.
Please remain
Atlantic
seated with
ground,
your seatbelt
Delta
securely fastened
3602.
until the captain has
Good
parked the
evening.
aircraft at
Cleared
the
of
gate
runway.
and turned
Ready
off
to
the
taxi
seatbelt
to the
sign.
gate.
This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get up and move about the cabin.
Delta 3602,
Please be reminded to use
Atlantic
caution
ground,
when
taxi
opening
to
the
gate
overhead bins
D24 via
to
hotel,
prevent injury from
Foxtrot
articles
2,
that
2
may have shifted
northwest, 2
during landing.
southwest, Lima, 4 southeast, 4
You may now use your
northeast,
mobile
good day.
phones and other handheld electronic devices while we taxi to the gate. However, your laptop computers and larger electronics must remain stowed. We invite you to visit delta.com for all your future travel needs, including checking in for a flight
2 northwest,
and managing
2
your Sky Miles
southwest,
accounts.
Lima, 4 southeast, 4 northeast.
Approaching
If any of you should have
runway
questions
8
regarding ground
left.
transportation, baggage claim,
It's really
or
late
any
on
uniformed Delta
my
agent meeting this flight, we'll be more than happy
touchdown.
to answer any questions
Really
you may have.
late.
On behalf of Delta Sky
But,
Team, our global partners, and flight crew,
Approaching runway
we'd like to thank you
8
all for flying with us.
right.
We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cross-check and all call.
That was, you could not have been any later than I was on that one. It's bad. But, I still think that, like, the feet per minute probably aren't bad, but. Yeah, feet per minute were okay, but, still, it's just, a little late. Where's it taking us? What's so amazing about Hartsfield International here is this is not my custom Nimbus airport, but it looks so good. I mean, it looks great. It looks incredible. It yeah, it gave me a kind of, but my distance on the runway to stop was longer than I anticipated, but 234 feet per minute, I'm good. Pains me to see it, but we'll see it before we go.
Approaching runway. Approaching runway 8. Caution, caution. Approaching runway 27. Right. Caution, caution.
Floated quite a bit too, I think. See how much of that runway I used. Right. Hope you pulled a nugget out of how to fly the X-Craft and Embraer E145XR. And once again, I think it's one of my favorites for now. It'll change. Don't worry. It'll change, but everyone have a good night.